Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. Although the publishing date for this video may be tomorrow on Thursday, August 17th, 2023, simply because I already have one video that's up today. All right, well, I don't usually do 2 videos in one day, although I have been known to do it occasionally. I was doing some reading today, and I found something that made me think, let's go down a rabbit trail together, okay? It's not super deep. It's one many of my viewers have probably already traveled. And if you haven't, then it's high time you did. Now, the reason I haven't addressed this before is because I usually like to have some sort of a tangible proof to a speculation that we present to the tarot cards. I'm speaking about our president, former president, John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated in Dallas back in November of 1963, or that's what we're told. Well, there's long been speculation in the anon community that by some means or other, whether it be time travel or some off-world divine assistance, or the fact that he knew he had a lot of death threats against him, and there was actually a body double in that limousine that day. The answer could be complex and sci-fi, or very, very, just practical as far as the body doubles type of situation goes. But the anons, there have been a lot of talk in the anon community that JFK actually survived that assassination. I won't say attempt because somebody lost their life there, or so we know, that's what the news tells us. But today I found something that was actually a government document that talks about meeting with JFK in May of 64, 6 months after his death. I'm going to go to a Facebook compilation that's got a few things about JFK, kind of introduce you to the speculation if you're not familiar with it. And then let's do a tarot read about it and see if the universe has some information for us about the events that happened in November of 1963. 1 second. As always, this compilation will be available to you if you click on the Facebook link in the video description box. Okay, well, November 22nd, 1963 was when the assassination of the person we knew as John F. Kennedy occurred. Here is a memorandum. And this is from the U.S. National Archives and Records Administration, okay? Talks about down here how on the 28th of May, 1964, there was a meeting that included President John F. Kennedy. Now, it could be argued that this was a typo. I don't think so, because he's mentioned again in the article a little later on, again with 1964 by the date. And there's even a reference to the being on the 7th floor, which is kind of a reference that a lot of anons know to a shadow government that's long been part of our reality. Interesting, I thought. Okay. Now, just in case someone goes in and changes that document, I made a screenshot of at least the first reference to the May 28th meeting here. And if you want to go to it directly, here's the archives.gov. You can go to it and find it in there. Now, I included a picture of, this is the aerial view of the JFK Memorial, located in Washington, D.C. It resembles a 17th letter of the alphabet, wouldn't you say? It's long been thought by anons that JFK is was the face and head of the group known as 17 for a long time. Now, here's a couple of Twitter items you can go to. Little Miss Know-It-All has some pictures here that are supposed to be about JFK and some information. Okay. And here is a video you can watch on the site that starts with an R and rhymes with tumble. And look, this was interesting. It actually supposedly shows, let me get 3 seconds into it. If I can while the video is going, apparently not. Hang on. But it showed a later picture of JFK shaking hands at a rally in Arizona with our former president. Actually, I think he's still current, but we'll forget about that. Number 45. Let's just put it that way. And the organization known as 17 is supposed to have originated out of Arizona. Okay. Well, all that being said, there's some tidbits you can mull over. If this is new information for you, you can reminisce with. If it's not, I thought, since we now have a government document, an archived government document that alludes to meetings held with JFK 6 months after the assassination, that's tangible. Let's go down that rabbit trail. Let's ask the universe if the person we knew as President John F. Kennedy managed to evade that assassination in November of 1963, and then further insights and information as deemed appropriate by the universe. We would also like to have this information to be as clear and honest as it would have been before any efforts to obscure it, veil it, or conceal it by esoteric means were put in place. Let's see what the universe has to tell us about JFK and his possible managing to survive that fateful day in some way that at some point we might find out about. Okay, so we are asking about President John F. Kennedy. Did he survive beyond that November day in 1963 in some form or fashion, and other insights or information that the universe deems appropriate, and to be as honest and truthful as would have been indicated before any attempts to obscure or veil this information were put in place. I've been running into a lot of veiled items lately, and I just trust that the universe will not share something if it's going to negatively impact where our timeline is headed. So I don't think people need to be doing it, and I don't appreciate it. Okay, let's see what our cards are. We have, I'm going to turn the whole thing around. Okay. We have the 9 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, Strength, Ace of Wands. Yes, we have a yes. 10 of Pentacles, Judgment, and the 5 of Wands. Okay, let's talk about these cards. Now, our question was to set aside any veiling or obscuring attempts that were done after the fact. Please inform us, did JFK in some way survive and evade death, a permanent death, lasting death that day in 1963? We have a front and center, we have a yes indeed right here with the Ace of Wands. Okay, lots of pentacles showing up. Pentacles are real and tangible items. They are your gold, your real estate, things like that, and about wealth. And JFK was from a well-to-do family, and he's indicated, interestingly enough, by the 9 of Pentacles. She's a very loving and sovereign type of female, and female feminine energy, and also a card of independence. So yeah, he survived. He absolutely did. Absolutely did. Okay. Now, according to some of that sources that I gave you in that compilation, He survived quietly until 2020. Be nice with medtech technology and what have you, if he was even still around, but that may not be the case. I do hear there's a limit on how many times you can utilize medbed technology, and I'm sure he would have had access to do that. I'd love to be getting some insights in here from the cards about how this was done, whether it was time travel, as some people speculate, or as something as simple and low tech as a body double was in the limousine. And then knowing that the 3-letter agencies were going to be relentless, he stepped off the world stage. Okay, now let's look here at the what we're getting here. Judgment call here. Again, it was I think JFK felt boxed into no other options than to do this. Okay, to step off the world stage, to seem to disappear. I'd love to know how and where he did. Was it as mundane as a change of identity and small town America? Was he beyond the ice wall? Did he travel interstellar, interdimensional? I would love to know. Love to know. Not getting that information here, just a huge yes that he survived that past that day. And let's get a couple more cards for a couple more insights. Okay, we've got the Four of Wands, beautiful card, and Justice. Okay, another major arcana. I'm going to keep going. Queen of Pentacles. Very wise card, and Hanged Man. Okay, as we discover these truths, we look at everything in a new way. Information and our history, what have you, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that in time to come. Okay, so there's going to be some clarity coming out about the situation, about how he survived, and as we're introduced to things that have been kept from everyday ordinary citizens as far as true facts and information, it's going to be quite the revelation. It's going to be something we actually celebrate. There's going to be a lot of truths we find out, and technologies that are made available to us in the coming months that are going to be, in years, that are going to be just wonderful. We got the Justice card showing up here. And again, with the Judgment card, which is usually kind of a review your choices, which made me say that JFK felt like he really had no other option but to step off the world stage, or seem to, in a very public way. Okay, and then the Hangman. Interesting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas, which is statistically significant, and some beautiful cards here. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, let's recap and take a look at the situation. We asked for insights and information about John F. Kennedy, and did he in some way survive that fateful day in Dallas in 1963? We got a huge yes with the Ace of Wands showing up. Absolutely huge. It's impactful too that we asked for this information to be as clear as possible, and what would have been told to us before any obscuring or veiling activities that happen on the information. Okay, again, trust in the universe to have the discretion to withhold what needs to be withheld for operational security and for confidentiality. We got a huge yes. That was great. Okay, he had a lot of work still to do, and it was indicated by this. He had a lot of work still to do, a lot of work ahead of him. He survived. He contributed greatly. I'm surprised that we didn't get our 17 card in with this spread, but we didn't. You know, that's okay. The past card for him showed up as a strength, and again, just he was still going strong long after 1963. Absolutely. Okay. He did that because the forces against him at the time, he knew that at some point he would run out of luck, and he needed to step off the world stage and serve humanity from the shadows, and did. Okay. It was a difficult decision to do, but again, he felt like he had no choice at the time. That was before, I understand that JFK was the last president to not have a clone, because clone technology hadn't gotten to that level of success yet. And that every president after him has had numerous ones available to them should the need arise, because it was a jarring moment for America to lose their president so violently and quickly. I maintain it also built our resilience later to see that we could face some huge big events and survive them, that we could take those jarring moments and come out on the other side, at the minimum surviving them, and possibly incorporating that grief, that survival path into new events that might come along. That's one of the reasons I maintain that the overuse of doubles and clones for people that have been removed or face justice is not doing humanity any favors, and it needs to stop. Okay, the Hanged Man showed up, one of our final cards, just showing that as we get these reveals, we are all going to be looking at things in a new way. Absolutely in a new way. Justice was involved with this whole situation, and again, in a good way, that he survived and found a way to serve his country and be useful. And I'd love to know how that all happened. Was it a time travel type of thing? I mean, you know, the movies are soft reveals, and yeah, could it have been that? Where did he go? Are there places beyond the ice wall that have all of these people that we're told are actually alive? Is it something like that, or something as simple as just a really good witness protection program? I don't know. I'd like to find out, and I think I will. And when I do, so will most of you, but if you haven't, hey, I'll share it with you in the video. Okay, so the what we got was a huge yes. It does seem that he was involved in some discussions and situational updates after November. So that that find in the archives was not typos, not typos. Kind of interesting, huh? So that's it for this video. Enjoy the rabbit trail. Take it as far as you want. If it doesn't resonate with you, please, just because you might trust most of what I do, or you know that I try to be as sincere and accurate as possible, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't buy it. Okay? But if it interests you and you think there might be something to it, follow the rabbit trail. You know, I feel like we're halfway down that one, and there's more to find out, and in the future we will. That's my personal thought, but that's one of the reasons that this channel is named Laura's View and Tarot 2. So until next time, I thank you for joining me down this rabbit trail. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, you know, if it struck a chord of truth with you, go down it a little ways yourself. All right. And until next time, I send you love and light and everything bright. Bye.